Hello, everybody. Gary Laubach behind the mic on GoLeopards.com. It's basketball season. I'm all excited. John Leone, of course, is all excited. Mike Joseph will be on the sidelines this year, and we are ready to go. And I assume the Lafayette men's basketball team is ready to go. I'm with head coach Mike McGarvey. Third season for Mike, and obviously you've got some players back. Mike, 8 players returned from last year, 4 of which saw a lot of action. So there's some experience, and you always like experience.
There is, especially in this day and age of college basketball, having a bunch of players that return, that have experience, that played in meaningful games, that have had big roles early on in their career, it really helps us now.
Yeah, let's talk about some of those guys that are back. But first, I want to talk a little bit about people that never get any recognition, and you can tell me a little bit about their roles. The people on your staff. Let's start with Nikolai Arnold, Cam Ayers, Sean O'Brien, Elijah Stevens is back. That's got to be nice just to see him back in the gymnasium. But talk a little bit about your staff as a whole or individually.
Yeah, first of all, as a whole, I think we've got a great collection of people, first and foremost. Obviously very talented in what they do as assistant coaches, but many of them played in this conference and had successful careers. We're happy to bring EJ back to Lafayette, a place that he cares deeply about, and obviously was a star for us when he was a student athlete. Cameron Ayers, who was starred at Bucknell, was a player of the year in this league, played professionally, does a really great job with recruiting, with our on-court development, scouting. Sean O'Brien, who played at Colgate, was also an all-league performer in the Patriot League, knows what it's like to have a championship pedigree, to make a championship run, really good with the players, really good in recruiting and scouting as well. Nikolai Arnold is somebody who was on my staff when I was a head coach in Division III. He came from Syracuse, was a manager under Jerry McNamara and Jim Boeheim. He does a really nice job with our analytics behind the scenes. He's very calculating in his approach. He's really good with connecting with our players, with scouting, especially advanced scouting. So the combination of the group and the collective, really good people, very talented, and work well together.
I think a big pat on your back, and you may want to dissuade this, but guys don't normally stay as assistant coaches, but your staff has basically stayed with you. I don't know if you want to say why, but obviously they like what you're doing.
Well, thanks. I don't know if I can take the credit for that. I think that we've got a good group of players that it's easy to work with. I think obviously Lafayette is a great place to live and work at. We've got a lot of support within the athletics office and beyond on the college campus up the hill. So I think just the combination of having a really good work environment, also having the opportunity to win and be with student athletes that we care deeply about, I think is really important.
As we get ready to start the season, obviously it's the independent games that are the focus right now. You've made it easy on yourself. You're going to go to Texas, West Virginia, Stonehill, Penn, University of North Carolina, Charlotte, and Georgia Tech, and start with St. Joe's before we see you here at home against Dickinson. That is an unbelievably difficult schedule, a lot of travel for these young men, but it should obviously prepare you for the Patriot League.
Yeah, that's the plan, right? So we go out and we get a chance to play some of the top conferences in the country. We open up with St. Joe's, and there's a lot of carryover here between Lafayette and St. Joe's, especially in the Philly area. So it's going to be a good environment. We're going to be tested early on. I think the November and December games, especially with a mix of young, talented players and veterans who have had important roles, it's going to be a really important 2 months for us to figure out exactly who we are on the court, figure out how rotations are working, figure out how style is working, but learning how to compete at that level will prepare us to win in January, February, and March when it matters most. So I'm excited for those tests. As a student athlete, as a player, you like to play the highest level.
Absolutely.
You want to be in those environments. You want to have those experiences. And for us to go and compete in that environment is going to prepare us well when we come back in January and get ready for Patriot League play.
Let's talk a little bit about the team as a whole. As I look at this ball club, obviously you've got some experience back with 8 players back. As a whole, it looks like, which is kind of your style, mix and match is going to work pretty well. I mean, you can put a bigger team out there. You can put a small team out there. You can mix and match both of them.
Yeah, I think we've got good depth, good positional size, a range of talented guards and forwards. We can mix and match for sure. We can play a couple different styles offensively and defensively depending on how the game presents itself. It's still a work in progress for us, obviously, at the end of October here. We're trying to figure out what combinations work the best together. But it's been fun as a coaching staff to try to figure out that problem. The kids on our team, they work really hard. They're very competitive. They're very talented. And they're connected for a group here this early on. So I'm excited for that. I think it's going to provide a lot of opportunities for us us to be flexible in the future.
T.J. Berger and Justin Vanderbond, Chris Rabayo, and Luke Savasevich. Tough guys to replace for sure, particularly in the middle. What are you going to do about the middle? What are you going to do about rebounding?
Yeah, for sure. Losing our centers, losing talented wings as well to graduation. Some guys that have played meaningful minutes and have been all league contributors for us to graduation is always something that you have to try to replace their production on the court, right? And I think from committee, we've recruited those positions intentionally. I think Sharif Jackson, Luke Bevilacqua, Misha Bednastin, those guys can step into the role that maybe some of our bigger guys would leave us with. Caleb Williams is going to make a big jump. Andrew Phillips will make a big jump. And I'm thinking about the wings that we needed to replace. We brought in a point guard, Luca's position, that will help us with ball handling, and Beckett Curry. So I think we've tried to do that strategically for the players that we were going to lose to graduation in advance. And I really like the talent of the young group. They're competing really hard. They're putting themselves in really good positions to have on-court role early in their career, especially a handful of them. So I think the development of that group throughout the season, we're going to see a lot of really good rises and see their strengths be displayed in a really neat way for us. And then the combination of that, I think when I started this off, the group collectively, how we're going to rebound, how we're going to defend, how we're going to score the basketball, I think it's going to be a group effort this year where we get to share it, and it's going to be somebody's night on November 3rd. It might be somebody different's night on November 5th, and so on and so forth. So I think the team understands that. They recognize that. How roles will develop here in the non-conference schedule will be key to our success in the future. But I like how it's going.
Yeah, you're getting me excited about the season already. Just talking about some of the guys that are back that everybody knows. Ryan Pettit, he is the perfect guy where if he's on your team, you love him. If he's your opponent, you absolutely hate him, and that's the kind of game you want him to play.
Yeah, for sure. I think Ryan doesn't get enough credit for what he does behind the scenes. His leadership has been phenomenal for us the last few years. He's taken an even bigger jump in his leadership role as a captain for us this year. Defensively, he's one of the best defensively rated players in the country. Charge takes, and literally he has the most charge takes per minute played. So he provides us a lot of stability, especially as a senior and upperclassman, to give us that defense. I think he's improving his offense each and every day in practice, and I'm excited for him to have a good senior campaign.
Yeah, watching him, sometimes I think even the officials don't like him because they don't want to call that charge. All-rookie Caleb Williams, he should really be special this year. Another year of development. He was good last year.
Yeah, he's got that spirit, that competitive spirit. He's fun to watch. He's fun to be around. He cares a lot about his teammates. For a guy who can really score the basketball, he's very unselfish. And I think he's ready to take that next leap. Now, obviously, that first year to sophomore leap is important, and it comes with some challenges, but I think he's ready to take over and put himself in position to be a dominant player in our conference.
Talk about a guy whose experience can basically do it all except shoot the three is Mark Butler, and I hear he's been working on the three. Is it better?
He has been working on it. It is better. We're encouraging him to shoot more. He does so many good things outside of shooting the basketball that, obviously is glaring for a point guard who doesn't shoot that many attempts from the perimeter. But his ability to get in the paint, his assist-to-turnover ratio, what he provides on defense and steals, he leads us in a lot of categories statistically that might not show up in the box score. So if he is continually developing his three-point range and adding some different things to his game offensively, then it's going to be even better for the Leopards. But he's a great player, and he provides a lot of stability.
Talk about consistency. Maybe the most consistent guy coming back is Andrew Phillips. He just plays his game, and he plays it very well. He does give you some three-point opportunity.
He does. He's shooting it great. He continues to shoot it well. He played a little bit more forward for us a year ago than he might play this year, so we're trying to move him over to more of a wing spot because of some of the size that we have in the younger class. But his stability, his toughness, his offensive rebounding, he doesn't shock you as an athlete on the court, but he gets a lot of stuff done and does a lot of the dirty work in addition to his ability to stretch the floor and make threes, so we're happy to have him.
I'll give you a name of what some of the newcomers, and you just give me maybe a real quick synopsis of what we should expect from them. Let's start with Ashton Wallace out of Utah, so he comes a long way to play here at Lafayette.
Yeah, Ashton is a very mature individual. He's been on successful high school teams. He's a lot similar to Andrew Phillips in his physicality for a bigger wing, and he's been helping us a lot in practice right now. I think his development is going to be key for the future.
You got a three-point shooter in Beckett Curry. Hopefully he will come along and develop and become that three-point shooter that maybe you really are going to need.
Yeah, like Mark and Caleb, he's somebody who can create a lot of offense with the ability to shoot the three, so we're excited for him as well. He's been showing that he can do it in practice, and hopefully that can then translate to games.
Nothing wrong with having a guy at 6'9" out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, Christian Humphrey.
Yeah, Christian is somebody who's really come on strong here in the preseason. He's rangy. He's at 6'9", so a lot of times when you see that size and with a 7'1" wingspan, you think about interior presence. He's more on the perimeter. He adds ability to stretch the floor, to run the floor. He's very athletic. He covers a lot of ground on the defensive end. Again, as a first-year guy, his development over the next couple months is going to be crucial, but he's super talented, and we're excited to see him play.
And one of those guys that can move around the court, play almost anywhere, Kai Murdoch at 6'6", out of South Carolina.
Yeah, somebody who shoots the ball really well. And coming from a junior college, it's not quite Division I, so he's getting his legs under him here in Division I practices and what it's like to compete each and every day. But his ability to shoot the ball and his basketball IQ is going to put him in positions to play early.
And he brings you a little bit more maturity.
He does.
For sure. Luke Azanara, he is 6'5", out of New Jersey, went to Del Barton, so he's got to have some props.
Oh yeah, and his father played here in the 90s, so we're happy to have Luke with us every day. For a young guy, his leadership in the locker room, his connectivity with the teammates, his ability to practice hard, it's been really beneficial for us.
Luke Bevilacqua out of Vineland, New Jersey, he is 6'11", the guy that maybe will replace Vanderbont.
Potentially. Luke is super talented. He's big. He's physical. A lot different than Justin in his ability to accept contact in the lane. Maybe not quite the shot blocker, but Luke is super talented. He was recruited at a very high level. With some back injuries in the past, he didn't get a chance to really display that over the last year or so. We're happy to have him here on the Hill. He's going to provide a lot of depth and stability for us inside.
And maybe the guy that's created the most buzz is Sharif Jackson. He's got a little NBA and DNA in him. His dad, of course, played in the NBA. Mark, is he as advertised?
Sharif is a very good basketball player. He does a number of things very well. He's got a good IQ. Like Luke Bevilacqua, he's big and strong and physical. He's a lot to deal with, and he seems to be able to understand the game at an elite level. Perhaps that's because of his family's pedigree, but I think Sharif is his own individual in a lot of ways. He studies the game. He understands how to be successful. He uses angles really well. He's learning the defensive end in a great way. He's putting himself in a good position to have success.
Yeah, I watched him in high school. He's very physical, very strong in the paint. I would say the only thing that needs to be worked on is moving him out to be able to drop that shot.
Yeah, and he's working on that. He's working on his mobility on the perimeter. He's working on his three-point shooting, and I think if those things develop here in the next year or two, it's going to be really special.
You seem happy and excited about this ball club.
I am. I think every time the weather changes a little bit and the football team is going towards the playoffs and the field hockey team's ready to compete and soccer's are going to playoffs, you start to think, okay, all right, here we are. We're ready for basketball season. And we've got a couple preseason contests that we're excited for, but November 3rd is right around the corner, and we can't wait to go.
And we'll see you next Wednesday for the opening ball game for us. Can't wait.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike. Mike McGarvey, the head coach of the Lafayette men's basketball team. He has joined me behind the mic.